Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives? Hi, hello, and welcome to another mini-sode of So Are the Days of Our Lives? I'm your host, Olivia Willis, and boy, do we have a doozy of a mini-sode today. We are talking about the one, the only Dr. Marlena Evans, arguably one of my favorite characters on the show. She is, I think, one of the most iconic, recognizable, long-running characters, and she has gotten up to a lot in her time in Salem. So bear with me. I am really going to try to keep it to 10 minutes, but we have a lot of ground to cover. I apologize if I use some broad strokes. Marlena has been busy over the last 50 some odd years in Salem. Marlena Evans is played by Deidre Hall, who has appeared in over 5,000 episodes of Days of Our Lives to date. That's what I'm saying. We got a lot of ground to cover, so let's dive right in. Dr. Marlena Evans arrives in Salem in 1976 as a psychiatrist working at Salem University Hospital. She's a psychiatrist to one of the, main characters at the time. She has some early drama in that first season with her twin sister, Samantha, who was played by Deidre Hall's actual twin, Andrea, where Samantha took over Marlena's life and had her institutionalized, but luckily Marlena got out. In 1977, she marries this character, Don Craig. They have a baby named DJ who dies of SIDS, which is like a very SVU plotline situation for me. Eventually, Don and Marlena divorce. In 1981, in another very SVU plotline, Marlena is raped by this monster named Kellum Chandler, but luckily she's able to testify against him. He goes away. Eventually, Marlena starts a radio show, and I'm like, okay, Frasier, I see what you're doing here. But in the midst of her radio show, she begins getting stalked by the Salem Strangler. Terrible. Marlena ends up having Detective Roman Brady act as her bodyguard, and they start dating. Classic. Roman ends up killing the Salem Strangler after the killer murders Samantha, Marlena's twin, thinking it's Marlena. Goodbye, Samantha. And eventually, Marlena and Roman get married. Marlena gives birth to twins, Sammy and Eric. Roman then gets shot by Stefano DiMera and is presumed dead. And the quote from the Days of Our Lives wiki sets everything that's about to happen up really well. It just goes, quote, Marlena is kidnapped several times over the following years. That could really be the spark notes of this mini-sode I'm about to do. So 1986, Marlena starts working with a new patient. His name is John Black, and he has, drumroll please, amnesia. They fall in love as she's helping him work to recover his memories, which I find to be ethically problematic as a psychiatrist, but that's not my place. Marlena finds plastic surgeon before and after photos of both John and her presumed dead husband, Roman. So Marlena logically assumes John is Roman and he had some sort of facial reconstructive surgery and just has amnesia. So that seems very convenient since she has fallen in love with John, and John takes Roman's identity, aka is fully her husband now. Marlena heroically tries to save someone who's trying to take their own life by jumping off a building, but she's like leaning out a window. She falls out the window. She goes into a coma for a month. After she's finally out of the coma, she gets kidnapped by this guy, Orpheus, who's obsessed with her. There's a lot of people who are just obsessed with Marlena on this show. This guy, Orpheus, had previously worked with Roman in the ISA, which is like the International Spy Organization, is literally maybe what it's short for. I can't remember. So Roman accidentally killed Orpheus's son. Also, why is his name Orpheus? I should really look into this. Anyway, Roman accidentally killed Orpheus's son, and now to exact revenge, Orpheus goes after Marlena, and she's presumed dead from a plane crash, so that's very dramatic. However, she is not dead, of course, just in a years-long coma. She wakes up in 1991 and returns to Salem to reunite with Roman until the real Roman shows up. Turns out John Black had just been brainwashed by Stefano DiMera and is not Roman. He's John. So now she's got these two husbands, basically. Roman's back from the dead. John was never Roman to begin with. Marlene is conflicted, but she decides to get back with the real Roman, and John Black is out on his ass. In 1992, Marlena gets kidnapped by a woman who's convinced Marlena's trying to steal her husband. John saves Marlena, and they can't deny their attraction to each other, and they start having an affair, and they have a child, Belle. And so Roman finds out about the affair and about the baby and divorces Marlena. She and John get together, but then as soon as they're like, okay, yay, riding off into the sunset, Stefano Demera drugs Marlena so he can like sneak into her room and kiss her at night. It all sounds very untoward. And at the same time, Marlena gets possessed by the devil. This is, I feel like, one of the most iconic Days of Our Lives plotlines in all of Days of Our Lives history. So Marlena's possessed by the literal devil. She starts vandalizing churches, levitating in her sleep, screaming that someone's coming to get her, ruining weddings, drawing pentagrams all over Kristen Demera. She lit a church on fire with John and Tony and Kristen inside. It turns out the devil was like targeting John because at some point he became a priest, which I cannot explain. Eventually, John does an exorcism. I have another great quote from the Days of Our Lives wiki that says, with the power of God behind him, John finally was able to cast the devil out of Marlena and send him back to hell. Thank goodness. So now that she's free from the devil, Marlena and John officially get married in 1999. Marlena then does a brief stint as a serial killer called the Salem Stalker. Turns out she was being brainwashed by another Demera, Andre. Why can't these people just leave this woman alone? I can't explain the details of this, but apparently none of the people Marlena killed as the Salem Stalker actually died, and they were all just like chilling on a private island somewhere, which honestly sounds thrilling. So now we're in 2008. Marlena and John divorce after John has a bout of #memory loss after being brainwashed into becoming a Demera super soldier, whatever that means. However, after his backup psychiatrist tries to kill Marlena, John's memory is restored. They get remarried and they leave for Switzerland in 2009 because John got injured and was like paralyzed and needed experimental treatment in Switzerland, you know. Marlena and John return to Salem in 2011, but tensions are rising when Kristen Demera, who had previously been involved with John, Kristen starts dating John's son, Brady. Marlena and John both try to break Kristen and Brady up, but John takes it too far by trying to seduce Kristen, and Marlena divorces his ass again. Marlena lands in a sticky situation when she tries to get proof Kristen cheated on Brady, and she just ends up publicly revealing a video of Kristen assaulting Marlena's son, Eric, who Kristen drugged and raped to get revenge on Marlena. I just feel like everybody needs to reassess, recalibrate what revenge means to them and what appropriate methods of revenge may be, because I do feel like this is a wee bit extreme, even for television. Eventually, Marlena and John reconcile after he falls into a coma. You know, life is so precious. Marlena survives many things over the next several years. She survives being shot at her own re-wedding to John, poisoned by one of John's exes, microchipped by Stefano Demera, and locked in a coffin and set on fire by Orpheus. This is what I mean. She is a survivor in the true sense of the word. In 2021, the devil returns to Salem. The devil actually possessed Doug, sweet old Doug, who loves to sing and dance with his wife and Dick Van Dyke. Marlena allows the devil to repossess her, I guess you would say, to protect other people from falling victim. But she can only fight the devil off for so long before he starts wreaking havoc through Marlena. Eventually, her priest son, Eric, and her other family members perform a cute little Christmas exorcism, and they drive the devil out of Salem, hopefully for good. My goodness. Marlena fell victim to another poisoning, this time along with Kayla and Kate. All three women died and literally went to heaven until they awoke, not dead, just in cryogenic chambers, being held by Megan Hathaway and eventually rescued by Steve and John. Miraculously, after everything she has been through, she's been able to maintain a thriving psychiatry practice, treating not only all of her immediate relatives, but apparently every citizen of Salem. And I couldn't figure out exactly when this became an important part of her psychiatry practice, but she does specialize in hypnosis, as I described in one of my previous recaps. And Marlena's special brand of hypnosis as mental health treatment is that she just asks someone to close their eyes, speaks to them in a soothing voice, then they are hypnotized. They remember everything they needed to remember. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to take you out of it. Open your eyes. And they're out of it. It's incredible. I mean, that's the kind of hypnosis we want to be seeing, people. And that, oh my gosh, I'm sweating. That is a very, very baseline breakdown of the character Marlena Evans. I think what makes me love her so much is A, she has survived some of the kookiest, wackiest stuff on this show. B, her love story with John is so iconic, especially as they are in their older years now on the show. They have a superhuman kind of love where they can read one another's minds, or is it, they can communicate across time and space. That's what it is. Honestly, goals. And she's just always in like a power jacket. Her hair is stunning. She's very elegant, but very professional and like sassy, but also calm and a voice of reason. When I grow up, I want to be like Marlena Evans, but without all of the incredibly horrific, dramatic trauma that she has had to live through in her life. That's all I have for you today. Give me a follow on Instagram at So Are the Days Podcast. I'll repost a video, even minier recap of this recap with some incredible pictures to accompany. There's really some good ones of Marlena and the stuff she's been up to over the years. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back next week. Thank you. Bye.